Okay, so this is my first attempt at building an autonomous robot using the Arduino. For this video, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the main parts and how they hang together, but I've also separately documented all the different components throughout the rest of the site to give you specific and clean examples for integrating these parts into your own projects. So the Robot1 pretty much just drives in a straight line until it gets within about 15 centimeters of an object. It stops, looks left, looks right, and then heads in the direction with the most room to move. Now, as riveting as that sounds, I've also added a few extra bits and pieces to keep it interesting. Starting with the green flashing light behind the wheel there, that's a Hall effect sensor. Now I'm using that to measure the position of the wheel. The light's on when it's detecting magnets which I've attached to the wheel frame. To sense the distance of objects in front of the bot, I've used a MaxBotics ultrasonic ping sensor. This worked really well, but I had a few issues with getting a clear reading from objects with smooth surfaces when it was on a high angle. There are plenty of ways to work around that though. I'm using a Freetronics 3-axis accelerometer to identify the angle that the bot is on and then tilt the ping sensor to always point straight. Accelerometers can also be used to measure velocity and zero gravity, so in other words it can tell if your bot's been dropped and then deploy airbags or something cool like that. I've used continuous servos as motors for the main wheels, and they differ from regular servos insofar as the input from 1 to 180 refers to a speed and direction as opposed to an angle of 1 to 180 on a regular servo. These white plastic sheets on the sides here are a type of polymorph plastic, also known as shape lock. It comes in bags of tiny beads that you just heat up and mold into shape, and when it cools down you have quite a strong and fast prototyping plastic for your various custom bits and pieces. For these two pieces I rolled them out flat like dough and then cut them into the required shapes while they were cooling. Last but not least, we've got Tron Lights, most commonly known as EL wire. It's a well-known fact that Tron Lights add 10% more kick-ass to any project. I'm using a Freetronics Ether 10, which is my Arduino board as the brains of the robot, but you could easily use a board with lesser features. I was just using what I had. Stacked on top of that is an Adafruit motor driver, which I'm using to control the 4 servos on the bot. 2 to pan and tilt the ping sensor, and 2 for the driver wheels. And so that's it for the Robot1. Have a look around on the site and see how to use each of these components, and leave any of your own findings in the comments.